Hello and welcome to Big Friendly Grub. I hope you are well and welcome to the second of our Veganuary specials. Yep, last time I made some very easy but very delicious vegan brownies and they were superb. They went down very well with everyone who tried them, which was admittedly just me because we're in lockdown, but they were delicious, I assure you. But this time we're mixing things up a bit. We're going a bit more savoury this time, and personally, as a person who eats meat, I am a big fan of fried chicken. It is like my biggest weakness. I love fried chicken, but I like my fried chicken to be really good. You can do fried chicken quite cheaply, but it's always not the best thing ethically, especially if you get it from places like KFC. You know, KFC's food is fine in terms of taste, it tastes decent enough, but I always worry about the ethics of it. How can you mass produce that much chicken ethically? I always worry about it. And for me, that's why I never really order from KFC. If I order fried chicken, I try and go for more local, smaller, like independent stores that I should know that have better practices around sourcing their meat and things like that. So yeah, if I am going to eat meat, I want to make sure it's as ethically sourced as possible. But this time, I want to try and make a vegan version of the KFC Zinger burger. It's quite simple. It's a chicken breast, battered, deep fried, served with lettuce, mayo, in a bun, and it's all seasoned so it's really quite spicy and hot. It is nice. I've tried it before, but you know, I haven't had one for a long time. KFC do have a vegan burger now, but it's made with corn, and I'm not the biggest fan of corn in things like burgers and stuff like that. I just don't like the texture, and the flavour can be a bit bland sometimes if it's not seasoned right. So I'm going to try and make a KFC Zinger burger, vegan, but using Seitan. And in case you didn't know what Seitan was, Seitan is basically made from pretty much gluten. The main ingredient is vital wheat gluten, and that kind of gives it that texture that makes it kind of meaty. And I'm going to show you how to make your own today. I was going to do Seitan as a separate video, but it's so bespoke, you can put so much in it, it makes sense to do it each time you make something so you can customize it to whatever you're making. And because we kind of want to emulate chicken, we're going to season it really well this time to make it like nice and spicy to emulate that KFC Zinger burger. Vital wheat gluten is also pretty much pure protein. That's what makes it so stretchy when you start to manipulate it, and that kind of gives it that meaty texture. But in order to make sure we're kind of getting the right amount of proteins, we're also going to be using chickpeas as well, and that'll give us kind of like all the rounded protein that you need from something like chicken. I'm also going to attempt my own vegan mayo, which I've never done before, so that's going to be a challenge as well. I'm kind of winging this whole video, but hopefully it will turn out really well and we'll get an amazing KFC vegan burger out of it. So let's give this a go. So this video is going to require a lot of ingredients, and quite a few of them go into our actual burger. So we're going to need vital wheat gluten, a can of chickpeas, chickpea flour, a bunch of spices, not 11 like the Colonel's secret recipe, but still a good amount, some miso paste, some nutritional yeast, and I've also got some vegetable stock in case I need it, in case this needs some more liquid, in case the mixture is too dry. So first things first, I'm going to drain off my chickpeas, but I'm going to save the water from it because we can use that later. The water from the chickpeas has actually become quite a common egg replacement. It's actually called aquafaba, and it sounds like a fancy aftershave or something like that, but it literally means water of bean. So I'm going to add in my chickpeas into a food processor, try and get them all in, and I'm going to try and blitz these up until they become almost like a paste. So you can see that's become quite malleable now. It's almost like a paste, but not quite there. So I'm going to add in my nutritional yeast, my miso paste, my sriracha, and my herbs and spices. I'll pop that back on, blitz that all up together. Right, that's more combined together. So we're at that stage where we need to transfer this into a bowl. Then we're going to add in our vital wheat gluten and the rest of the chickpea flour. Now I'm going to get in with my hands and start to bring this all together. Right, I will need my vegetable stock, so I'm going to start adding this in a bit at a time. So you can see that's come together so it's not all dry and horrible now. So I'm just going to work it to work some of that gluten so it becomes nice and stretchy. You can see I've not worked that for very long and it's become quite stretchy and fibrous, almost meat-like. Right, now I'm just going to cut probably about a quarter of this out because I don't want it all. This will probably make about 3 or 4 burgers, I reckon. I'm going to put the rest away for another time. And I'm going to just shape this out into a sort of chicken breast shape. Probably about 1.5 centimeters thick, something like that. There you go, that's the sort of a shape of a chicken breast once you flatten it out a bit. Then I'm just going to pop it into some simmering water for about 6 or 7 minutes, just to let it cook for 6 or 7 minutes. Right, this has had 6 or 7 minutes. You can see this is puffed up a little bit. So I'm going to move this onto a plate just to dry off and cool off, and then we can get on with marinating it, spreading it, and frying it. Usually when I'm making fried chicken, I tend to use buttermilk, but because we can't use that because it's got moo in it, I'm going to come up with an alternative. So what we're going to use is some vegan yogurt, some soy milk, some lemon juice to add the acidity that you usually get in buttermilk, and a squirt of sriracha, about a tablespoon's worth. I'm going to whisk that all together. Then I'm just going to put my seitan into there to marinate for a little bit, just while we carry on with some prep for our next steps. Right, to go with our burger, we want some mayo in it, but mayo is not good for vegans because it's made with eggs, so we're going to try and make our own vegan mayo. For that, we're going to be using the aquafaba from our chickpeas that we saved earlier, so 90 grams worth of that is going into here. Also add in a couple of tablespoons of white wine vinegar, a couple of teaspoons of sugar, 2 garlic cloves, a teaspoon of mustard, get in there. Then I'm going in with my stick blender to blend that all together. Then when I'm satisfied that's all combined, I'm going to add in 250 ml of rapeseed oil, but you could also use sunflower oil or vegetable oil, as long as it's a flavourless oil. So in that goes. I'm going to bring this all together by bringing the stick blender up to emulsify all the oil with the rest of our mixture. So you can see that's thickened and emulsified into a really nice mayo. If you don't start to get that sort of consistency, just gradually add in a bit more of your aquafaba. Let's give this a quick taste to see if we need anything else before we finish up. Oh, no, that's really nice. That is really, really nice. Hells, man, that might even be better than some other mayos that you might have heard of. That's delicious. I'm well happy with that. Obviously, this won't be a Zinger burger without a nice crispy coating, so we're going to create a really nice spiced seasoned coating. Spiced and seasoned, that's probably the same thing, but let's roll with it. So I've got 250 grams worth of plain flour here, but because I want to take this level up above what you'd get at KFC, I'm also going to add in a couple of handfuls of panko breadcrumbs. That will give it an even nicer crisp crunch on the outside. Then obviously we want this nice and seasoned, so I'm adding in a teaspoon of salt, a teaspoon of garlic granules, onion granules, a teaspoon of chili powder, a teaspoon of smoked paprika, a teaspoon of cayenne, a teaspoon of cumin, and a teaspoon of mustard powder. And get in and combine that all together. So I've got my seitan here that's been marinating in this for probably a good 30 minutes now. So I'm going to get in here, make sure it's all well coated in that, and then bring it over here and just dip it in our breadcrumbs and flour. Make sure it's all well coated. I'm using just one hand for this, so basically I don't have two really sticky, messy, floury hands. Then I'm actually going to double dip. I'm going to go back in, coat this in that again because we've still got so much of it, and back over here to coat this in our flour again. Then I'm going to pop that onto the plate and we can fry it up. Right, we're now ready to fry, but because no burger is worth its salt without some chips, I've got some potatoes that I've chopped up here into kind of like skinny fries. KFC are notoriously bad with their fries, so we're going to try and do some really nice ones here. I've kept these skin on because that's a lot of the flavour and nutrients in there. And I've got some vegetable oil which I've heated up to 190 degrees C, that's about 375 degrees Fahrenheit. I'm going to pop these into the oil just for a couple of minutes. We're going to double fry these so they can have their second fry when our burger goes in. So they've completed their first fry, they're already looking lovely golden and brown. So I'm going to leave those up there for a minute or two. Right, enough of the sideshow, it's time for the main attraction. I'm going to pop this into the basket. Just about fits. Might have made that too big for my burger bun, but never mind. It's all about the burger and not the bun. So in that goes for probably about 6 or 7 minutes until it's just nice and golden brown. I'm going to pop these back in after a couple of minutes to give them about another 5 minutes or so they don't go too brown and horrible. Right, in go my fries again for their second cook. That's about halfway through and you can see that's getting some lovely crispy bits. That probably actually doesn't need too much longer. So probably another 2 or 3 minutes I reckon. Right, my fries are looking a really nice colour, so they probably don't need any longer, otherwise they'll end up burned. I'm going to pop those onto some kitchen towel just to drain off, capture some of the escapees. There we go, that looks absolutely fab. Lovely colour, got those lovely crispy bits that you would hope for. I'm going to pop that onto my plate as well just to drain off some of that oil and leave it to cool down for a couple of minutes before I construct my burger and give it a go. I can't wait. Got my french fries on my plate. I've started constructing my burger. I've got my bun toasted. I've got some of my vegan mayo on. I'm going to pop on some sliced up iceberg lettuce. Then I'm going to lay on top my burger, which is way too big for my bun, but all I could find was these disappointingly small burger buns that were definitely vegan. Everything else was enriched with butter and stuff like that, so don't be tempted to go for a brioche bun or anything like that. But it's all about the burger, not the bun. So lay that on. Also, you might be able to hear how crispy that is. Listen to that. Absolutely fantastic. Then I'm going to go on with some vegan cheese. Technically, a Zinger burger doesn't have the cheese, but I just love cheese in my burger, and I've grown partial to some vegan cheeses as well. So I've got a slice of that, and then I'm just going to finish off this bun with a bit of sriracha, and on that goes. Look at that. That's more of a Whopper than a Zinger, but that looks absolutely fantastic. So there's nothing else left for me to do but to give this a try. I've been waiting ages for this. Can't wait to try it. There we go, one homemade KFC vegan Zinger burger. Made from scratch, completely from scratch, including the Seitan. Hail Seitan. There's going to be a few jokes about that anyway. But that looks, and we've got vegan mayo in there that we've made ourselves as well, and it just looks and smells fantastic. So I don't want to harp on about it too much because I want to give it a go and I want to see what the texture's like. So I wouldn't usually do this because it's a burger, you've got to get in with your hand, but I'm going to cut it in half to see what the texture's like. Let's have a bit of a reveal. There we go, look at that. Doesn't that look proper meaty? I don't know if you can see that, but it looks like really nice, well seasoned chicken that's kind of been marinated. Colour's a bit different, obviously. It's got a really meaty texture, it's got a good bounce to it. Looks great. So, nothing else left to do but give it a try. Oh, let's get stuck in here. Right, here we go. Cheers. Oh man, that's great. It's a great texture. Might be able to see that there. It's not tough or anything like that. It's got that meaty texture, it's got an amazing flavour to it. You've got all those spices, there's a bit of heat in there. That is delicious. That is a brilliant alternative to a chicken burger. It really is. It's a little bit of effort making your own seitan, but it's worth it. It really is. I've got another 3 portions worth in there out of what I made. That tastes fantastic. I'm gonna have a couple of chips as well, because why not? Good chips. Be happy with how that's turned out. That is fantastic. Really, really good. That's video number 2 for Veganuary down. What am I going to do next? I don't know. I literally don't know. I haven't figured it out, but I will come up with something great. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope you found it useful. I hope you give this a go because I'm really pleased with how it turns out. It does taste really good. And yeah, if you enjoyed it, like the video, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell to find out when new videos are going up. Otherwise, we'll see you next time on Big Friendly Grub. Bye! So I hope you enjoyed the video. So I hope you Roko's just used her bathroom and now she's scratching around. You done? Thanks.